Have to be careful what he wishes for. The Greens thought they had a free kick, but instead we have half-time. And we are, as we started, 0-0 as Bentleigh and Port Melbourne head into the sheds, but it is not for lack of trying. Port Melbourne at an opening 20-minute flurry with a plethora They are 2 points clear of the Oakley Cannons in third, heading into the final day after the Cannons went down to St Albans. 96th minute concession. Bentleigh Green still inside the 6, but level on points with Heidelberg. That might be about to adapt. Tavia on the turn, opening the ankle, making the block. Lambatarides. Hoare, the pirouettes. And he's granted a reprieve for what was a poor pass by the free kick from Michael Marmus, as we were saying before. Bentleigh Green's level on points with Heidelberg as things stand, but with a vastly superior goal difference, +9 up against +3. That top 6, at least the bottom half of it, could still go in many directions. Green Gully still 3 points away from confirming their spot. Oh, they'll be playing later this week against the Eastern Lions on Thursday night at Green Gully Reserve. Final fixture of round 25. Before a final day showing with Dandy Thunder. Gives them a few days to lick their wounds after the loss today to Peninsula Power. It's getting a bit ugly in the middle third. Michael Mammoth forced the whistle once more. Taken quickly by Port Melbourne. Can they find breathing space? And Cesnik shifting one way, then the other, towards the byline. Webster side-footing away. Wilkins, double teamed by Bentleigh Greens, and they do exactly what they needed to do, force the stoppage. Kim half away. Good work from Maceo Jones. And that one breach that allowed Chris Duggan to get the game's one and only goal. He really has performed pretty well in that centre-back slot. The youngster makes it shift position. Drutz drifting forward, forcing the first yellow card of the evening. To the book goes Christian Bombaci. So still plenty of time in this second half in which he'll have to walk the tightrope. Greens with the set piece. Alexander with the delivery. Webster motioning for it. Now Riak recycling. Couldn't get it past the first man. So another set piece for the Bentleigh Greens. As we've said, Port Melbourne, they have not conceded a corner all year. And you think surely that will change before season's end. Strickland, great delivery. Alexander on the edge. Now Kim recycling. Strickland's there. Couldn't control it the first time, and Webster had the ball off the post. It would have been a moot point had the net bulged. An offside flag going up in the build-up, but maybe, just maybe, that offside chance gives Bentleigh Green some hope of a leveller. It was a loose first touch out of the sky from Tom Strickland, but gambling on it, almost like a wily old striker, Jack Webster. Nearly found a finish at the near post. Does that spark Ben into action? we go. Well, we haven't even really got a chance to descend into Yagwash, and already the Yagwash alarm is going off because Bentleigh Green's Doherty Cup hero is on for 30 minutes plus stoppage to try and change this game. He has been the difference maker, or was the difference maker last week, and now in place of Ken Kralicki, he's got some chance to make his presence known. 5 goals to his name this season. Another man with plenty is Riak, who crosses it in. Now Mustafa with the first touch, and a good one. Alexander sizing up the delivery. Riak missed the flick on, wanted the handball. Referee doesn't oblige. And that introduction of Yagub Mustafa really adds a different dimension for Bentleigh. He had just 14 touches in 13 minutes off the bench in the Doherty Cup, and that was all he needed to grab the winning goal at the death for the Greens and given out the medal for player judged best of field, although commentator's curse coughs that one up. Drutzis scanning the field, but not locating an option he fancied. Drutzis again, riding a challenge. Kim committing his head to the cause. And now Bentleigh might have that breakaway. Riak off the inside of the boot from Eager. Didn't know much about it. Good defenders have a habit of getting in the way, whether they intend to or not. It's almost like a sixth sense. Lambatarides. Jones being urged to keep it by his midfield teammates. It's knocked along the deck by Pierce Clark. Again, apologies for any expletives you might have caught via the effects mic. I guess, if it's any consolation, you are left in no doubt as to what Jacob Alexander thought of that goal kick, or that kick out from his goalkeeper. Duggan battling hard, crossing in. This has a sense there is more yet to come from this game. Bentleigh Greens are out of the Australia Cup now at the round of 16 stage. This NPL Victoria season is all they have left to fight for. But the same can be said for Port Melbourne, who are on the move. Tavia, the little swivel, great interception from Alexander, only as far as Archibald. Edwards having to backtrack to pick up the ball. Terminopoulos. Wilkins. Archibald. Again, a raking ball that sits up almost perfectly for Edwards. Now Tavia shapes one in over the head of Duggan towards the back post and lobbed away by Jacob Alexander, cognizant of that threat posed by Jackson Courtney Perkins on his shoulder. And if there is someone on your shoulder on your first touch you don't want to see, it's most certainly JCP. He's a danger man. Bentleigh Greens will make another change. It's Mitch Hoare this time, who on a number of occasions in recent times has been the super sub. Now he's the super substituted. Looks like Kai Adachi is the player who's replaced him. confirmation of that to you shortly. It does look like it's forced to reshuffle positionally for a few players too. As Chris Drutzis comes in as Archibald loops that one. Pierce Clark happy to watch it all the way, but in the wind that could have ended up as something catastrophic. Alexander stares at the turf. It's a motivational little clap from Yagub Mustafa. Sesnick. Cross for Duggan, who's taken that ball against Tadashi in his stride, bouncing on the edge of the box. First time clearance from Jacob Alexander. The injection of Drutzis further forward is going to be fascinating. Wilkins. Oh, excellent work from the fullback through the legs of Mustafa and setting Courtney Perkins on his way. Port with numbers forward. It's a good shoulder challenge from Maceo Jones. It does come at the cost of the corner, but if Courtney Perkins had found the breakthrough, it could well have been worse. Good stop. Two arms aloft from Anthony Edwards. It's fired in towards the penalty spot. Brought down by Archibald. Now Sesnick, central, tipped away by Pierce Clark. But Bentleigh haven't cleared their lines. Now towards the back post. It's a powerful header and it's matched by the save. And now shouts of handball against or in favour of Josh Wilkins. Not obliged by Michael Marmas. And here come the Bentleigh Greens. It's a 4-on-2. Into the path of Drutzis, takes the ball in his stride. He's got players at the back post. It's cut back for Strickland. And he didn't get clean contact. The Port defence making a block from the goalward bound strike. And Bentleigh have let a big chance to draw level. Slip them by. That was a breakneck few seconds of football. Port going close, not once but twice at the other end, having a penalty shout from Josh Wilkins, turned down for handball. And then in the confusion, like thieves in the night, Bentleigh Greens sprung forward, had a 4-on-2. And you were ready and waiting for Tom Strickland to stroke that home first time. Maybe just a bobble on the surface that denied him the chance to really do that. And in the meantime, Port have had a player on the turf. Josh Wilkins, in fact, who limps away. That's a really bad look for the Port Melbourne fullback or centre-back, depending on where you play him. He is so integral to Adam Piddick's side. It does look like it will force a substitution, and it'll force Port potentially to play with 10 for the moment. Although, hold the phone, Wilkins looks like he might be back to come on as Withers has to tip that over the bar. And a bit of confusion here as Andrew Withers tipped that goalward bound delivery over the crossbar. Rather than a Greens corner, it's an offside call against the Bentleigh Greens player who I can only imagine was interfering with Andrew Withers' line of sight, or was the intended target of that pass? I'm not 100% sure, but the upshot is a free kick for Port Melbourne. And in the interim, as the home fans are protesting their case for an incorrect call, or maybe just an apology, because they weren't going to reverse the decision, Josh Wilkins albeit somewhat gingerly, is back on the turf, and that will be sweet relief for Adam Piddick. Ball comes off Michael Marmus, and cognizant of the potential threat on the break for Bentleigh, it does draw play dead. Greens will have possession back, although not quite in the same manner in which they held it just seconds ago. As we draw towards the final 20 minutes of this game, which is still up for grabs. In fact, it's a Port Melbourne ball. They were in possession. That's the right call. They were in possession when the ball deflected off Michael Marmus, so apologies for slight misinterpretation of the situation. Alexander gets his noggin to it. Now chested down by Mustafa. Hasn't quite had the bench impact we've expected just yet. Plenty of time in which that can change. He left his run pretty late in the Doherty Cup final. Bentleigh left their run late against Sydney, scoring in the 86th minute through Ajak Riak. And they are a good second half team. Nearly half of their goals come in the second 45. They're careful not to concede one, as that's dug out by Duggan. Didn't go out into touch, kept alive by Courtney Perkins. Delicious delivery, but a fresh air swing from Anthony Edwards. Biscock might be in trouble here. He's kicked that ball away in frustration as it went out off a Greens defender for a Port corner. So a needless card against the Green stopper, who has had to be at his best tonight. He has had a really good game. Tuminopoulos winding up from range, takes a few deflections, and all the sting taken out of it by Pierce Clark, who's quick to set the Greens into action. Bouncing ball falls the way of Alexander. Now Mustafa, great first touch, but tight on it was Matthew and Tuminopoulos. Unkind deflection off Adachi. Going to give Port the chance to conserve. Jackson Courtney Perkins is waving his arms on the broadcast side, hopeful of a switch that may still come. Or maybe not. Lumped clear by Danny Kim. No flag for offside, despite the Bentleigh Greens protestations. Wilkins has missed that in the air. Now a one-to-one battle between him and Ajak Riak. Lovely nutmeg against Courtney Perkins. Now Archibald, under all manner of pressure, gets the whistle that he so wanted. The nutmeg count has been on a high in the second half. We've seen two brilliant ones now. One from Josh Wilkins previously, which probably one of the better nutmegs I've seen, actually, at least this season. From an unlikely source, it must be said. Although then again, I don't know how Josh Wilkins goes at the rondos in training. Drutis. Adachi showed too much to Anthony Edwards. They've had plenty of zip on the flanks, but not enough cut through to restore parity so far. Bentleigh, they're going to need to get more shots away. Maybe consider a bit more distant shooting. It has been something they've been so proficient with this season. 15 goals from outside the box. intelligent use of the body and the subsequent switch from Adachi. Not so from Jacob Alexander, who has left space in behind, which Sesnick can't exploit. Wilkins. Dug out by Courtney Perkins. Eyes to the sky in frustration from Jack Webster. Captain, who knows that he could have, probably should have done better dealing with that aerial ball. Sesnick, driven towards the line. It's back to his keeper. Withers, beautiful first-time fire and control from Luca Tavia. Courtney Perkins, the slide rule pass for Sesnick. Maceo Jones again is exactly where he needs to be. I guess the relief, scant though it may be, present scoreline in consideration. The relief was that despite the absence of Ben Carrigan in central defence, there have been a few people, George Lambatteries and Maceo Jones, who have stood up and shown what they can do. And we all know what Jack Webster can do. He just showed us. He is eager. Thumping that away. That's a poor attempt at a first-time clearance from Kim. Duggan. It was nearly an artful exchange between him and Tavia. Edwards back onto the non-preferred. Darshi attempting to pick his pocket. Strickland, Alexander had triple coverage and found a way through. Now here's Yaqub Mustafa. We haven't seen much from him so far, but he's got the chance to drive towards the touchline, cutting it back, and Archibald there in the nick of time, getting boot to ball and not diverting it goal bound. Bentleigh need more of that. The fans, they want more. They need more. We have seen some cracking games between these two sides over the stretch. With 14 minutes plus stoppage remaining, this one is threatening. Alexander. Drutsis contesting an unlikely header at the back post for him. It comes to nothing. Port undermanned on the break, but Tavia sizing up the switch. It's a little bit behind the desired drop zone for Anthony Edwards. But thinking about the last time these two sides met at Kingston Heath, it was a come from behind victory. We'll hold the phone because here's Luca Tavia with a chance for breathing space, slaloming around a couple, but not getting past Jacob Alexander. And now marches in the opposite direction. Clearances, those long balls into the sky, so hard to control in the wind. That one was out of play. Eager got his calculations all wrong there. A rare mistake, a misstep from the central defender. Now, I've got the stoppage. I'm thinking about the last time these two sides met. It was a cagey game going into the second half. And Port Melbourne were able to pull out a come from behind 3-2 win. A John Quoll header in stoppage time, one of the best games of the 2021 season, or what did exist of it. This game just feels like it's not a million miles away. Greens need a goal though. Riak scrapping through. Edwards has Yaqub Mustafa hot on his heels and has to heave it away for safety. Drutzis. Away at the first time of asking by Tubanopoulos. Duggan does so well. He comes away with 3-on-1 contest where he was the furthest thing from the favourite. Came away with the ball and has now copped a few duds from Kayadashi, who heads into the book. It's all threatening to spill over here. Intensity emblematic of the importance of any and all points in this game. All simmers down eventually, but Duggan remains on the turf. So again, we've got a few droplets of rain descending upon the turf. As there's an exchange now between Bentleigh fans on the far side and Chris Duggan.
Hello.
Hey, mate.
Do you know if you have to pay something?
What?
Said many great things about the Scotsman.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Goal-scoring prowess. Certainly one of them. His willingness to have a chat with any and all. Another string to his bow. And the Greens with a substitution after all of that is said and done. It's Paul Salami onto the field of play, replacing Chris Drutzis. Now we're back underway as we tick inside the final 10. Port Melbourne on the precipice, stepping in to the top two with a 2-point gap to Oakley on the final day. What a final day it is we are set for. Simultaneous kickoffs all next Sunday, 3 p.m. The top six still very much an open thing. Alexander, good Mustafa, do well to make a contest of this. Trying to deny supply and progression for Wilkins, and he does so. Eager into the club rooms. Bentleigh Greens want to keep the ball in motion. They sense that momentum, for the time being at least, is on their side. Got to be wary of the counter-attacking threat that Port Melbourne pose, though. They've only got one back at the moment. Luckily, that interception falls the way of Kayadashi. Webster. Riak flicking it on. Not to any particular advantage. As the chill starts to descend upon Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, just as the action on the field is reaching a boiling point. Port making themselves really hard to break down at the moment. Wilkins. Duggan on the charge, although he's going to see Pierce Clark when he turns around. Indeed he does. And the keeper does exactly what he needs to do. Great bounce passing. Good switch of play from Lambatarides. Adachi. Kim. Up the line. Salami, his first involvement towards the near post for Riak. Alexander tried the pirouette. Bentleigh need to try and lock it in here. Advantage, well, was going to be played, but now Maceo Jones, after all his good work defensively in this game, has been caught a little square there and rightly heads into the book. Chris Duggan has been in the thick of almost all the important flashpoints in this second half. It's his goal that separates the sides, and it's been his frame that's been on the turf on a number of occasions, copping a few rough tackles. Latter of which he's continuing to receive treatment for, as that rain just kicks up another gear. You might even be able to see that coming down on your stream at home, and some who were standing against the fence are now heading for the safety of the grandstand. Although I say safety of the roof atop the club rooms, it is blowing in the direction of the club room, so scant cover from the elements here. The players bearing the full bore at the moment. Riak flicking it up, just wasn't quite online with the run that Mustafa was making. Alexander muscled off it by Tavia. Shows him a clean pair of heels as well. Class from Luca Tavia. Courtney Perkins.
The keys for the room 5.
You want to go out?
You have to close. Room 5.
Okay. Wait.
There was a key.
Darchi had to be careful. He is in the eyes of Michael Marmus at the moment. Industrious interventions. Going to have an introduction onto the field soon. Salami inside for Darchi. And Webster was hopeful of winning that ball. Duggan got there first, and he's just happy to chew up available time. He's on the turf again, and this time it's Webster who heads into the pocketbook. Once again, Chris Duggan is against the turf. That's the exact spot he was fouled in earlier by Kai Adachi. And in that context, no surprise to see that Bentleigh fans are once again throwing in their 2 cents. Perceived theatrics. At the moment, though, it's Chris Duggan who will be the man with the last laugh. So we have 5 minutes added on to this game. Michael Mamus stop the clock, or is he going to order Chris Duggan off? Well, in the red time, Port will make that substitution. It's Vali Sesnik who, without having a goal to show for his efforts, gets a well-earned rest after what's been a great performance for him. And Lathan Dunn enters the fray. And the Greens have to commit numbers forward. Tavia. Now, what appetite do Port have for a second? Or are they happy to just hold it in the corner, chew up as much time as possible? Duggan went for the reverse ball. Outside of the foot, skews the ball away, although Salami was quick to collect. Michael Mamus, seeing that no advantage would materialise for the hosts, quick to pull back for a free kick. This might be it for Bentleigh. Launched in the direction of Jack Webster, who got contact to it. Lambatarides controlling on the D. Moving the ball from foot to foot and now distributing to Riak. Lambatarides. Great first touch to set himself. Shoots deflected for a corner. Withers was on his knees. Not necessarily ready. And Pierce Clark is coming up for the corner. Well, Port Melbourne, they haven't seeded a corner all year. This would be the most inopportune time. The ball is poor, but picked up at the back post by Yagab Mustafa. As Pierce Clark retreats, Yagab Mustafa cuts in. And his shot is blocked by a sea of bodies. Adachi, looping ball. Alexander bring it down to the back post. And he's flagged for offside. That may well be that for Bentleigh Greens. As again, Port, Adam Piddick, chewing up the seconds with a substitution. Tumanopoulos is the man vacating in place of Fletcher McFarlane. 21-year-old being, barring a late concession, used as a human victory cigar for Adam Piddick tonight. Michael Marmus has whistle in hand. Not to blow full time, to bring the goal kick back into play. Keep a close eye on the referee. Little check of the watch. As Jackson Courtney Perkins is urged to work the clock. So this will go into the black hole that is the corner for Port. They may well have seen off the Bentleigh challenge. Duggan has picked up the ball. He's going to shoot towards the near post. And Pierce Clark couldn't keep it under control. He made the save. He wanted to keep it in play. The corner awarded to the visitors that I do not think they will be in any hurry to launch into the box. And in fact, there's not a single player in the penalty area for Port. Duggan in the corner. Goal kick for Bentleigh. This is being taken with urgency. Pierce Clark already back in play. One last roll of the dice perhaps for the Greens. Adachi, heavy first touch, lumps it clear. It's a must win from Wilkins, and he does. These are critical aerial battles. Farland comes away with it, but Maceo Jones, important interception. End-to-end play. How many more chances will Bentleigh get? Well, this is surely it. Courtney Perkins heads clear, a throw for Bentleigh. And that's it. Port Melbourne. A late scare from the Bentleigh Greens. And as full time is blown here at Kingston Heath, it is